Hello, in this video we will see how to build these expandable views. Okay, as you can see on the screen, I have 5 expandable cards. Okay, if I tap on it, as you can see, we collapse back. Okay, if I tap again, it will expand. Okay, in this video we will see step by step how to achieve this result. Okay, enough talking, let's dive into the code. Okay, here I have an empty project. Okay, as you can see, I simply have this image and this text. So what we want to do, we want to achieve this result. And the first thing we want to do, we want to start with this title and this icon. Okay, so yeah, instead of this v tag, what I want is an h tag. Okay, and now for this text, we can keep this text, but we have to move it up here. And for the text itself, what we can start with, we can start with this Swift. And for the style, what we can do, we can add a font, and we want it to be a headline. Okay, we can also add a foreground color, and we want it to be black. And now for this image, what we can do, we can come here for the name. We don't want this globe. What we want is chevron down. Okay, perfect. And as you can see on the image change, okay, now what we can do, we can add a spacer between this text and this image. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to add this description. Okay, and as you can see, the description comes just after the title and this icon. Okay, so what we can do, we want to embed this h tag. We want to embed it into a v tag. Okay, because we want to have this h tag and then this text. Okay, so yeah, what we can do, we can simply come here, do a right click, and we can embed this into a v tag. Okay, and now after this h tag, what we can do, we can add this text. Okay, so let's do that, text. And for the description, for now, we can simply put description. Okay, perfect. Now we can add a padding, and we can also add a foreground color. Okay, perfect. Now what we want, we can remove this description, so everything is looking good. Now what we want to do, we want to add this logic. Okay, we want to add this on tap gesture on this v tag. Okay, so in case we tap on it, what we want to do, we want to hide this text. Okay, and when we tap on it again, we want to show the text. Okay, in order to do that, what we can do here at the very top, what we can do, we can add a boolean state variable. Okay, so state, and we will call it is expanded, and we want to initialize it at false. Okay, perfect. Now what we want to do, every time we tap on this h tag, we want to toggle this on boolean. Okay, so in order to do that, what we can do, we can simply come here and cut this, and we can embed it into a button. Okay, so let me add a button here. For the action, for now, we can leave it empty. And for our content, what we can do, we can simply paste what we had before. Okay, so everything is still the same. Okay, but now it's clickable. As you can see, I can click on it. Okay, so now inside this button, for this action, what we want to do, we want to take this is expanded, and we want to toggle it. Okay, so we can simply say is expanded, and we want to toggle it. And now we can simply say that if this is expanded is true, we want to show this text. Okay, so let me just cut this text, and we can paste it inside this is expanded. Okay, and now let's see if I click on this one. Okay, here we go. I'm supposed to see the text. Okay, if I click again, it's disappear. I click again, it will appear. Okay, but what we can also do, we can polish this. Okay, because as you can see, the animation is not that good. So what we can do here, instead of simply say is expanded that toggle, what we can do, we can add an animation. Okay, so let me cut this, and we will say with animation, and we want to paste what we had before. Okay, and here, because we are inside this closure, what we can simply do, we can add this self that is expanded. And here I have a typo with animation. I forgot this h, and normally this error should go away. And now if I tap on it again, as you can see, the animation is a little bit nicer. Okay, now what we can do, we can change this icon based on this is expanded. Okay, so if I come back on this h tag, what I want to do, I want to change this name according to this is expanded. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply come here and say if this is expanded, if this is true, what I want, the name I want is this chevron up. Okay, and if this is false, what I want is this chevron down. Okay, so let me explain it again. If this is expanded, if this is true, okay, we want this one, this chevron up. Okay, this one, this chevron up. And if this is false, we want this chevron down. Okay, so now if I tap on it again, as you can see, we change this icon, okay? And if I tap again, it will change it to chevron down, okay? So everything is looking good. The only thing we want to do now is to polish a little bit our card, okay? So what we can do, we can simply come here and we can style this v-stack, okay? So what can we add on this v-stack for our app to look like the finished app? For that, the first thing we want to do, we want to add a background, okay? So let me add this background, and for the color, we will simply add the white color. Now we will add the corner radius, and we want it to be 10. And now we can add our shadow, okay? So that shadow, and we want it to be 5. And last but not least, we need this horizontal padding, okay? So here, after this shadow, what I can simply add, I can add this padding, and we want it to be horizontal. Okay, perfect. Now if I come here and I try to play with this one, you can see that everything is looking good. Okay, we have this smooth animation every time we tap on this edge stack. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we want to take this, okay, we want to take everything and we want to wrap it into a new view, okay, so that we'll be able to duplicate it, because here, as you can see on the finished app, we have Swift, we have Kotlin, we have PHP, we have Ruby, and we also have HTML, okay. And what we don't want to do, we don't want to come here and copy and paste this 5 times, okay? So what we can do, we can simply come here and cut this and now create a new view. We will call it expandable view. And now inside our body, what we can do, we can simply paste what we copied, okay? So if I paste it here, and now I take this expandable view, and here inside our body, I simply want this expandable view, okay? And now we have an error because we forgot to also cut this. So let me fix this. If I cut this and I paste it inside this expandable view, normally the error should go away. Okay, perfect. And now, normally we're supposed to still have the same result. Okay, perfect. So everything is still looking good and everything is working. Now what we want to do, we want to copy this 5 times, okay? So if I copy this and I paste it 5 times, now we have our 5 expandable views, okay? But here, as you can see, we don't have the same title, okay? So what we can do, we can simply come here on this v-stack, and instead of having this Swift hard-coded, what we can do, we can add this property. We will call it title. And what we want to do, we simply want to come here, and instead of this Swift, we want to add this title, okay? Now, every time we create a new instance of expandable view, what we want to provide the title, okay? As you can see here, we have an error, missing argument for parameter title, okay? So we can simply click on this fix and it will add our title, okay? So for the first one, what we want, the name we want is Swift. And now we can simply copy and paste this for the other 5. And we can now change the name. Here we want Kotlin, down here PHP and Ruby, and finally HTML. And I think we are almost done. What we can do, we can simply come here and put everything inside a v-stack, and now we can also embed our v-stack inside a navigation stack, okay? So we can do a right click here, embed into a h-stack, but here instead of this h-stack, what we want is a navigation stack. And now that we have this navigation stack, what we can do, we can add this title, okay? Because as you can see, we have this programming languages as a title, okay? So here for this v-stack, what we can do, we can simply add this navigation title, and we want our title to be programming languages. Okay, but our title is too big, okay? What we want to specify that here for our navigation title, for the display mode, what we want is on that inline. And perfect, now we can see our navigation title, okay? Here, in order to push this to the very top, what we can do, we can simply add a spacer, and yeah, everything is looking good. And the last thing we want to do, we simply want to add a padding here, okay? So that padding. And I think it's looking like a finished app, okay? So the last thing we want to do is simply run our app, okay? So let's go ahead and run this app. And here we go, everything looks like it's working perfectly, okay? I can toggle everything, okay? I can also just click on this one and toggle it. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.